You're highly welcome to this video. We want to look into the articulation and spelling of some of the diphthongs in English language. Previously, we looked at it in a picturesque format, that is using a diagram to talk about all the diphthongs of English language. So particularly, we want to look at 3 of the 8 diphthongs we have in English language. That is on the aspect of articulation as well as the spellings or the graphemes that can represent each of them. All right, looking at the classification of diphthongs, I said previously that the double vowel sounds of English language are classified into closing diphthongs and centering diphthongs. So the closing diphthongs are 5 in number, whereas the centering diphthongs are 3 in number. So these are 3 of the closing diphthongs. Diphthongs are double vowel sounds in the sense that we have 2 short sounds grouped into one. So when we say a diphthong, a sound glides from one position to another. That is based on the movement of the tongue in the mouth. The tongue will glide from one position to another position. So for instance, we have the A, I, and Oi diphthongs. These are sounds made up of 2 short sounds. For instance, a combination of A and E makes the A sound. Combination of R and E makes the I sound, and a combination of O and E makes the Oi sound. So these are 2 short sounds combined to form one long sound. So considering the first diphthong we have here, which is the diphthong A, we have many obvious spellings of the sound. That is, wherever you have this kind of later combinations, you're likely to have the A sound in words. The very first one is A ellipsis E, that is AE. In between the 2 vowel letter, you have a consonant letter. So when you have A and E, then in between A and E, you have a consonant letter like T, like D, like A's, and so on. You are likely to have the diphthong A. Another spelling of the A sound is AI. You have AY, you have EIGH, and then EI. Now let's consider them one after the other. For AE, we have in words like late, fate, face, made, and save. So if you look at each of these words, you have letter A and E, and in between AE, we have a consonant letter, as in late. So in the transcription, the consonant letter you move to the end, while A and E will join together to form the diphthong A. The same thing applicable to these. These, in this case, the consonant letter is letter C. In this case, it is D. In this case, it is V. So you can have any of the consonant letter, any of the consonant letters in between AE, and then you have the A sound as the vowel sound there. Note that this sound is just one sound, not two, one vowel sound, but it is a diphthong because it is formed through the combination of 2 short sounds. You cannot say the sounds independently. You join the 2 together. That is another reason these sounds are classified as glides. All the diphthongs are known as glides because one sound you glide into another. So that's what we have here. The next spelling of the A sound is AI, as in rain, pain, train, brain, claim. So all these are words with the A sound. A Y is another spelling of the A sound, as in day, play, way, stay, and say. Note, if you have A's after say, the vowel sound will change to A. So we have says and not says. Normally use that in setting exams. So you can have it in WAEC exams or JAM exams. So when you have it this way, S-A-Y, it is say. But if you have S-A-Y-S, it is says. So this the diphthong will change to the monophthong A. Alright, the next spelling of the A sound we have here is E-I-G-H. In place of E-I-G-H, we can have the A sound as in eight, wait, freight, slay, neighbor. Look at the words. Eight, wait, freight, slay, neighbor. Right. The last but not the least of the spellings of the A sound, we have EI as in vain and rain. Let's also consider the diphthong I. The very first spelling of the diphthong I is equally a combination of vowel letters, but in this case, it is vowel letter I and E. Then in between the two vowel letters, we have a consonant letter. Typical example is in words like time, time, height, sight, and dine. So you can see in these words, in between I and E, we have consonant letters such as M in time, N in fine, T in kite, D in sight, and N in dine. Another spelling for the I sound is letter Y. Remember what I said previously, that letter Y is not only a consonant letter, it can also be considered as a vowel letter. Letter Y can represent vowel sounds such as E and I. So we considered how letter Y represents the sound E previously. So today we are considering letter Y as a grapheme for the I sound in words like my, buy, try, cry, and sky. So here letter Y represents a vowel sound and not a consonant sound. Another spelling for the I sound is IE, as in pie, die, tie, prize, lies. Note the last two words here, prize and lies. In place of the letter A's, we have the Z sound and not the S. So it is the voiced form of that sound. Okay. Another spelling for the I sound is IGH, as in high, light, fight, night, and right. Then we have the last one for the I sound, which is UY, as in buy, guy. So you can add to the list. Now let's look at the last for today, which is the OI sound. The OI sound can be represented by letter OI, as in boil, coin, join, point, spoil, and oil. It can also be the sound can also be represented by OY. In other words, in place of OY, we can have the OI sound, as in boy, toy, joy, enjoy, and annoy. So these are the possible graphemes for the diphthong OI. We have OI and OY. And for the diphthong I, we have the IE, Y, IE, IGH, and then UY. Then for the A sound, we have the A ellipsis, E, AI, AY, EIGH, and EI. So this is it for these three closing diphthongs. Remember, the closing diphthongs are divided into two. The ones that glides to the high front sound E, and the ones that glides to the high back sound U. So we are taking these three. Later on, we'll consider the other two and also talk about the centering diphthongs. I want to believe you've learned something from this tutorial. Thanks for watching. I remain Teacher Dixon.